Shalom Aleichem, holy brothers. We're going to learn some Netivah Shalom on Parshas Nasso. So the Rebbe is talking about Birchat Kohanim, the blessing that the Kohanim give us every day here in Eretz Yisrael, the blessing that we learn about in this week's Parsha, my Bar Mitzvah Parsha, a great, great Parsha. So, we all know, Kut V'archu Ben Yisrael Yivarecha, Hashem Yishmerecha, v'chule v'chule. The Rebbe asks, Tzarich levarer, Inyan Birkat Kohanim. My etzem mashmusha bracha. What is the meaning of bracha? Shamit barach yeno zakay ledavar mitzvah atzmo v'afal piken mekablo mikoach habaracha. In other words, let's say in Hashem's accountings, I'm only worthy of a certain thing. I'm only worthy of getting job A. Because I'm going to get a bracha from the Rebbe, I'm going to get job B. Because I'm going to go get a Birchat Kohanim, I'm going to have more children, more shidduchim, more success. How does that make any sense? Either I deserve it or I don't deserve it. How does getting a bracha help? That's the first question that the Rebbe asks. And question number 2 is the following. The nusach of the bracha is asher kidishanu b'kedushato shel Aaron. The blessing of Birchat Kohanim puts within it the holiness of Aaron, and it has to be done through love. Ba'ava. Every other bracha, we just say, God commanded us. We don't talk about the details. We don't say, Asher Kidishanu litol yadayim imayim. We don't say Ladlik Ner Shel Chanukah im Kedusha Shel Makabim. We just say the bracha. Here, for some reason, the bracha itself, we have to talk about Aaron. We have to talk about love. Yes, the Rebbe says we have this din that the Kohanim have to love everyone when they give the bracha. If people have a problem with them, it's a problem, and they're supposed to love the congregation. It's a very important detail, sure. But why is it in the nusach of the bracha itself, the Kedusha of Aaron? Ba'ava. So those are our 2 questions that we're going to be inspired by the Rebbe today. So the Rebbe says like this: the entire creation is built in such a way of a giver and a receiver. Just in the same way as a child is born through a male, a giver, and a female receiver. Also, plants are through the giver and the receiver. The sun, and then through the rain, is mashpia to the earth. It gives to the earth, which receives, or in Hebrew is makabel. And that's why it grows. And the connection between the giver and the receiver is through love. As the pasuk in Tehillim Peitet teaches, the world is created through love, through chesed. The whole creation of the world is through love. The love is what connects between the giver and the receiver, or at least in an ideal sense, that's the paradigmatic. That should be the way that it is. And also in terms of spiritual matters, there always has to be a giver and a receiver. You can't really get anything if you don't have a receiver and a giver. Like right now, we're receiving from the Rebbe. And then hopefully I'm giving over from the Rebbe and you're receiving. And your receiving is allowing me to give. So thank you so much. And I'm getting so much from that. So really the Mashpia and Makabel are harmonious relationship. Each wants to help the other. And the relation, the connection between them is through love. In an ideal giver-receiver, the love is what connects both sides. And that is actually what draws down the blessing. Truth is, all bracha is beyond nature. These matters of bless and keep it, clearly we're talking about something that you need blessing. We're not talking about natural things, we're talking about unnatural, beyond natural, supernatural. We're asking that this blessing guard over us. Divine blessing is coming down through the way of the giver and the receiver. Unnatural, supernatural blessing is coming into the receiver. And we know we find the concept of the blessing by Avram and Yitzchak. We find it all over Bereshis. We see by the blessing, when Yitzchak is asking for a bracha, to give the bracha, that he asked his children, who he thought was Esav, and later it's Yaakov, to arise, to place within him love through bringing him that food. Awaken love from Yitzchak to Yaakov, to his son. In order to bring down the blessing, there needs to be love between the giver and the receiver. The love connects between them. It's already learning a huge thing. If you want to give a bracha, there must be love between the two sides, or else it doesn't have much power. Love is a transmitter. The Ava transmits the shefa, the blessing, from the giver to the receiver. So Aaron is placed to be the great giver because he loves peace, pursuing peace, and he's bringing people close to the Torah, and he loves all people. He's just a big lover. That was what set him aside. He's always making peace between people, and he had a great fiery love. And that holiness of Aaron flowed from his love, which connected between the giver and the receiver. And the Kohanim are the descendants of Aaron. So we have this blessing to continue to draw down the blessing from the giver, in this case the Kohanim, to the receivers, to the Jewish people. By the way, forgetting his name, the author of the Yedid Nefesh, Rav Azkiri. Lazar Azkiri writes that we have a mitzvah, the Israelite has a mitzvah to receive the bracha. So you see that the receiver themselves is helping the giver so much. So receiving is also sometimes giving. So we talk about the holiness of Aaron. Because that's the source of the blessing of the Kohanim. The holiness of Aaron goes down to all of Am Yisrael. And this koach, all the Kohanim are able to bless the Jewish people. And that's why we have to mention Ava. The foundation of the blessing is the love. They can feel the love today. And they draw down the blessing from above. And the blessings are particularly relevant for spiritual matters. Because really the whole purpose we're here is to get close to God, according to the Torah, according to Chassidus. Mesilas Yesharim writes that the whole purpose of life is to draw close to Hashem, to the Shekhinah. And the physical things, when we overindulge in the physical, it makes us far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. וכל התורה והמצוות הם עזר וסיוע ושנתן הקדוש ברוך הוא ליהודי שיוכל לעמוד כנגד כל דברים מלחיכים. But the Torah and our mitzvahs give us the strength to overcome these challenges and to get close to God. But God gives us a super bonus power, and that's the blessing of the Kohanim, which is a blessing that comes down from the giver to the receiver. An extra opportunity how to get close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every day, especially for those of us who live in Eretz Yisrael, who are zocheh to receive the bracha, the Birchat Kohanim, every day. Now we also understand why it's so important to have a rabbi, especially in Chassidus, having a rebbe. Since the way that God created the world is you always have to have a giver and a receiver, so the rabbi takes the place as the giver. And this is the source of blessings in all matters which require blessings. And without this, you can't get to any spiritual acquisitions. And the connection is only through love. That's why there's an in the Chassidus to give money to a tzaddik, and really also tzedakah is not just giving to this poor person, it's connecting to the neshama of this poor person. Anytime you're giving, you're connecting. That's also why we give the gift to the Kohanim according to the Torah. Giving is what awakens the love and connects between the giver and the receiver. So, to sum up, a bracha is a special gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us in this week's parsha, and the bracha only can flow if there's true love between the two sides, and it transmits shefa, blessing. Perhaps we could say that by humbling ourselves and making ourselves a vessel to receive that blessing, that is the zchus, the merit that makes us worthy to receive that extra blessing in our life. So we should be zocheh to have the humility to be receivers sometimes, to listen, to take from others, have the inspiration to give to others, and Hashem should give us the love to be able to connect between the givers and the receivers. Now you have a beautiful Shabbos Kodesh wherever you're at. Good Shabbos!